LL Cool J is an acclaimed actor, musician, entrepreneur, and best-selling author. He's a two-time Grammy Award winner with 10 consecutive Platinum Plus selling albums. LL Cool J has received the NAACP Image Award, and he's the first rapper to receive a prestigious Kennedy Center honor. He currently stars in the hit CBS TV series NCIS Los Angeles and curates SiriusXM's LL Cool J's Rock the Bells radio. He's both a passionate and avid philanthropist.
Music icon, TV star, business mogul, trailblazer, husband, father, and now grandfather. In under 15 words, that pretty much sums up my next guest, who really needs no introduction, but I just gave him one anyway. LL Cool J, welcome to the Yahoo Finance All Market Summit.
Thanks for having me, Brian. How you doing?
Good. It's good to speak with you again. And you know, the theme of our event is Road to Recovery, but for you, it's Road to Creating a Business during the pandemic. Tell us about Rock the Bells. Why'd you launch it, and what is it?
I just felt like, Rock the Bells was, something that a journey that I began about 7 years ago. I felt like, SiriusXM had a channel called Backspin, and I felt that although it was classic hip hop, it didn't go deep enough into the culture and didn't really dig into the nuances of what it means to be, a fan of classic hip hop. So, I got with Scott Greenstein and, over the course of 5 years, convinced him to, let me take over the channel. Let me do something with it. Let me work with it. I finally got the channel. You fast forward to now, and we've kind of taken it from where it was to around, 7 million listeners daily, and people are really enjoying it. And what I discovered and what I learned is that, there are a lot of classic hip hop fans out there, Generation X fans out there, who are being totally ignored. No one's really speaking to them. No one's talking to them. Generation X has, $4.6 trillion. A lot of that generation are hip hop fans, and they've been completely ignored. So it's like, why not, start a platform and systematically start speaking to these people through content, through commerce, and through experiences. Not trying to boil the ocean at once, but incrementally, just systematically rolling it out. So now we're, really focusing on content and getting heavy into that. And, we're speaking to the people in a way that is kind of awaken this kind of sleeping fan base that was out there with no one speaking to them for many years.
Oh, you think there's too much focus on millennials? Everywhere I go, consumer, big business focused on millennials. But you just said, I'm focused on Gen X.
Well, look, I think that Generation X has been completely, ignored and written off. I mean, they're a group that built, hip hop. They're a generation that is rooted in a culture. They're a generation that really lives it and speaks it. They'll pay for, elevated experiences. I think that they're just a group that really loves and enjoys classic hip hop, and no one has really saw the value in that, and they've just been asleep. So it's not, in any way, trying to say anything negative about the millennial generation, which is a cool generation as well. But I just feel Gen X is a generation that I completely understand and that has really been ignored for a long time. And, Rock the Bells really has the kind of content, commerce, and experiences that generation loves. What's interesting about that is the dirty little secret is we over-index with Gen Z because of our connection to Gen X. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, believe it or not, there was life before Instagram, and I can attest to that too. And I recognize all the songs on the Rock Bell station on Sirius. That much is for sure. So talk to me, how do you launch a business during a pandemic when you can't necessarily get up and close and personal? You can't see them in a room. How do you pull that off?
Well, look, luckily we were building a platform, right? It is a platform business. So, obviously this was, we were well on our way to building this business far before the pandemic. It just so happened the way the timing worked out that we had, we launched in the middle of a pandemic. But because we're an online platform, that helps us. It didn't affect our reach. We didn't start in the bricks and mortars area, so that was an advantage. Beyond that, it's really about just making sure that our stories and our narrative is we tell the right story to the people and that they get it. And people are responding. They love the station. They love what we're doing. And now it's just a matter of getting the people that love the station to understand that rockthebells.com is an extension of that. And it's a place where they can go to really experience classic hip hop in all its various facets and dimensions. And look, hip hop is an ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? And we feel like we could touch a lot of parts of that. And that's what's happening. So, so the how is basically, it's staging and execution, right? Like we're doing it. It's very staged. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to do it all at once. We have a very clear way of how we're trying to roll things out. We're being very specific about that. But we also know that we have, there is a flywheel there. And between content, commerce, and experiences, we can get that thing turning and get it rolling and build some momentum. And we have. And it's just a matter of time. Rockthebells.com is, really appealing. Rock the Bells is appealing to the fans in a big way. And we just got to keep doing what we're doing and be authentic while we're doing it and give the people what they want.
There are a lot of struggling businesses out there during the pandemic. If someone is watching this and they see, LL Cool J started a business from scratch, I want to do that. How do you know who to trust? I can imagine you have dealt with all sorts of people throughout your career. How do you know who to put your trust in?
Well, you gotta have faith, and you gotta go with your gut. I think gut instincts are an important tool in your toolbox. Using your intuition, using your instincts, and if something is gnawing at you, don't ignore that voice inside of you. Don't ignore that small, still voice. I don't have all the answers, but I just think that Rock the Bells can be something really cool. You know what I'm saying? It is something really cool, and I feel like. You have to do something that you're not only passionate about and that you can be the best at, but then you have to have the people around you that have the skill set to operationalize what it is you're trying to do. Rock the Bells is not just about, LL Cool J and my knowledge of classic hip hop. There's also people, I put people in positions who really understand the fundamentals of how to, take this business from A to Z. And that's what it's about. And then, the chips are going to fall where they may, but we're going to do our best to give people something that we believe that we totally believe in. And I'm going to put the right people in the right position so that we can operationalize the business and take it to the next level.
What does that next level look like in 2021?
Well, I think, look, we want to, without divulging all of the plans, I think that, having the Rock the Bells Festival out there, having some great content, offering some premium content. We have some great premium content stuff coming that we'll be announcing. And then, having commerce drops that people can really get into and feel and really get excited about. So, it's really about just, our plan is right. The plan feels right. It's true. It's authentic. It's just about delivering. And we will. You know what I mean? We will.
Let's switch gears here. I can't believe it. We talked 5 months ago, about 2 weeks removed, or about 3 weeks removed from the killing of George Floyd. A lot of protests sweeping throughout the country. Now that you've had 5 months to digest what's happening in this country, what are some of your thoughts?
I think that, times like this, the country needs leadership. I think leadership is key. I think that, you can't, walk around with a hammer and see every problem as a nail when the country needs heart surgery. I think that there is a real, there's a time this country needs to really reflect. I think that this period has been probably as disruptive as, the 60s or even, Reconstruction, right? That period right after the Civil War. I think that this has been, between the Civil Rights era and now, those have been 3 periods that have been really, really just, full of strife and tension. And, we need leadership, and we need people that, I think it's important to have a person running the country who understands how to communicate with those who agree with him and those who don't agree with him. And, that's a skill, but it's needed, right? You have, in order to be the president or, to be the leader of something, you have to be able to deal with all sides. And you have to be able to see the big picture and hear people out. And I think that what we're dealing with now is a kind of like my way or the highway style that I don't think bodes well for the future unification of our country. In order to keep the country unified, you have to hear everybody out and kind of inspire people. It's not about pounding people, and I think that's the issue.
Well, it sounds as though you're looking for a change atop the White House. How could these leaders do a better job and address? Really, it's an extremely challenging situation in this country right now.
Well, I think empathy, right? Empathy is important. Understanding what people are going through. When your only goal is to preserve a specific status quo or a specific power source or resource, that's a tough way to go, right? You gotta empathize. You have a lot of citizens who feel a lot of different things and are going through a lot of different things and have a lot of dynamics, and everybody's dealing with it differently based on where they fit in this puzzle of America, right? So it's like, we need a president, we need leaders with empathy. You have to have empathy. It doesn't mean that you can't be tough. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to please everybody, because you never will be able to. But it does mean that if you're going to, in order for you to lead, you gotta embrace the entire country, man. Like that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? That just comes with the territory. If you're going to be, the president or a leader of a nation, you have to embrace all of the citizens. You know what I'm saying? In some shape or form, and at least hear them out.
Do you think this is the most important election in your lifetime? I mean, you're a young guy, but even still.
I think every election is important. I think that obviously this is definitely an inflection point for America. You know what I'm saying? I think it's an inflection point when you have, Supreme Court, being filled, going in different directions. You have, a lot of legislation being passed. Budgets being put in place that will affect, generations to come. Yeah, it's a key. I mean, there's some elections are not quite as important as others, and this is definitely an inflection point. I think America has to get it right. These decisions have to come from a place of, what's going to be best for the entire nation, or at least the greatest percentage of the entire nation in the right way. You want to be on the right side of history, right?
Ella, have you ever publicly endorsed a candidate?
I mean, in my life I have. I haven't, said anything about who I'm voting for or anything like that. Not really. But I think it's pretty obvious that, the way I'm leaning, you know what I'm saying? Just because I just feel like things are too tense. I feel like there's too many, there's too much negativity being encouraged. You know what I'm saying? People got to vote for who they want to vote for. You know what I'm saying? But, how I feel about it. I just, I think we need a change. You know what I'm saying?
What's music's role right now?
Well, I think, it depends on who the musician is, right? And who the artist is. Hip hop, classic hip hop in general has always been at the forefront of the game, always been at the forefront, you know what I'm saying? Always spoke to the issues of the day, you know what I'm saying? And always spoke from that place of, from the place of an underdog. I don't see that changing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Rock the Bells for sure is, supportive of, the idea of, supporting the underdog and lifting up, the common man, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, music and art always speaks, especially hip hop speaks to the current situation that's going on. And it's about not forgetting where you come from and just remembering, right? Like a lot of times you get the celebrities and, the celebs get a bad rap. They forget where they came from, or, get a couple of dollars, can get an extra sandwich, and people think that they can't relate. But I actually care about what's going on in the world, and care about what's going on in the community, and care about, my people. And then I care about America as a whole. I want to see the right thing happen for the nation. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
No, you can definitely tell. Ella, last question before I let you go. I asked you this before. I'll ask it again. Any new music coming next year? You're signed to Def Jam. I had to ask you. I'm a fan. Very much a fan. Your music is the soundtrack of my life. Anything you could share?
My man, yeah. I'm actually working on a new album. Me and Q-Tip are working on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's coming along crazy. I like it a lot. I'm enjoying it. Feels good. You know what I'm saying? And I think the people will be pleasantly. I think they'll feel good when they hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now I really can't wait until 2021.
Yeah.
LL Cool J, again, it's been a pleasure to speak with you throughout this year. Thank you so much for joining the Yahoo Finance All Market Summit. Be safe, be well, and we'll talk to you soon.
Much love, man. Stay healthy. Peace and love, everybody. Peace.